What's up, party people, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are getting back to my roots and we are doing the beloved Dupe That Are Better series where we test out drugstore dupes with our higher end counterparts to see if they really are dupes. So today we're comparing side by side the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer with the brand new e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. The Tatcha one has been out for a while, but I feel like it just kind of started regaining momentum since the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer came out because literally everyone and their mother is comparing this one to the Tatcha one. So it's time for me to do the same side by side today on my face. The full size of this is $52 and I don't have that. I have the mini size and this is $20 and I feel like this is a pretty good amount of product. I mean, $20 for this little amount is kind of pathetic, but I mean, $52, that is just crazy for a primer in my book. So moving on to the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, this comes in at a whopping $8. So in the e.l.f. one, you get 0.74 ounces of product, and then in this mini size of the Tatcha, you get 0.24. So yeah, 0.74, 0.24, $20, $8. Just a little bit of a difference. So I did a little ditty for you guys, and I actually compared the ingredients side by side and highlighted the ones that were similar in both products. Also, I'm gonna post this on Instagram whenever this goes up so you guys can see it up close. Basically, there are 17 ingredients between the Tatcha and the e.l.f. one that are the exact same. And the ones that you see are blue are the ones that I wasn't quite sure about, like they seemed very similar. So in the Tatcha one, it's called Rice Ferment Filtrate, and the e.l.f. one is called Rice Bran Wax. So you can do your own research. If you find something out, let us all know in the comments below. But I will say that something I noticed is that the Tatcha one does have more ingredients. So it's actually more simplified in the e.l.f. formula, but in the Tatcha one, it actually has a couple of ingredients that aren't too good for your skin. Like it does have fragrance. I don't see fragrance in the e.l.f. one, and there's also alcohol in the Tatcha one. So I don't know how well you guys can see it, but I do have some pretty large pores, so hopefully you can actually see what we're working with. So I don't think I'm even going to apply any more primers or anything. Usually I apply a primer to the rest of my face and just focus these types of products in the T-zone, but I'm not really going to go anywhere tonight, and it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to test these two products, and we are going to put on some foundation after this to see how it works under foundation as well. And right now it's 6:05, so this is not going to be a long wear test or anything. So here's the e.l.f. one and here's the Tatcha one. They're basically the exact same color. So I will say when I first opened up the e.l.f. one, it did feel pretty hard on top, like it was pretty firm, but now that I've kind of gotten off the top surface, it feels more silky and more smooth. So at first I was going to say that the Tatcha one was more soft and more creamy, but now that I got past that very top layer, it seems like they both feel the exact same. So here's what they look like when you swatch them. I mean, literally it's the same consistency, same color. So let's go ahead and do the e.l.f. one on the right side. So basically with any kind of pore filling product, you want to really focus on tapping it in instead of like spreading it and dragging it, because then it's just going to kind of drag over the pores. It's not going to actually fill them in. But what I like to do first is just kind of drag it just a little bit. I'm kind of doing like a drag and tap motion in a way. So I'm dragging it just to place it, but I'm also kind of pushing it in as I go. And you really want to focus around there too, like around the crevices in the nose. You could do this under the eyes to kind of help fill in the fine lines and stuff so it doesn't crease. And then I'm going to go down here on the chin, and I'm also going to cover up my blemishes down here just because where I'm not going to apply primer all over, I don't want there to be like an unevenness in texture. So we're just going to fill those over a little bit just so it's more smooth. I can see a huge difference in my pores. Now, I still see them. They're not completely gone because they're part of my skin, like they're a texture, but they definitely do look more minimized and more blurred over. And it does mattify maybe a little bit, but really it's not even mattification, it's more of just blurring. Like it just kind of smooths over your skin and makes it more even looking. So going in with a separate finger, I'm gonna go into this side with the Tatcha one. We're gonna do the same little ditty. Now I will say, okay, yeah, right off the bat, there definitely is a fragrance in here. And it smells good, don't get me wrong, but it's just whether or not you want fragrance in your makeup or your skincare. I smell nothing with the e.l.f. one, so there really isn't fragrance in here at first glance. And this isn't a big deal because the more I rub it in, the less it does this. But the e.l.f. one really smoothed over and didn't settle into pores or anything. Like it gave me no issues with application. But the Tatcha one, like when I drag it over my pores and kind of start tapping it in, it actually starts emphasizing them a little bit, like it's just sitting in them kind of funny. So I've turned down the lighting so you can see it better, hopefully. So it kind of makes everything look a little worse. But here's the e.l.f. and here's the Tatcha. And I just feel like the e.l.f. side looks so much smoother and my pores look smaller on the side. I can see some dry patches on my nose that I didn't see before, so maybe that's because it is more mattifying than the e.l.f. one. Maybe the e.l.f. one is more hydrating. I'm gonna go ahead and apply some foundation and maybe put on, I don't know, some highlight, blush, bronzer, all that jazz, and I'll be right back with the finished face. All right, so I'm back with the full face. I'm gonna get up close and show you guys each side. So the right side is e.l.f., the left side is Tatcha. And also, I don't even have setting spray on. I have very little powder. I did set this area right through here. With makeup on, I can't really tell a difference at all. I will say the Tatcha side looks a tad bit drier and just a tad bit more uneven or just not as smooth. Now, that's like looking up microscopically. Like that's a very, very minor difference. If you were to see me in person, you would not be able to tell a difference at all. They're pretty much the exact same, and the e.l.f. one is even more simplified with the ingredients. It's fragrance free, it's alcohol free, and also e.l.f. is cruelty free and vegan. So right now it is 6:45, so I'll probably be back around 10, 11, 12, I don't know, whenever I feel like coming back and filming some more. Alrighty, it's time to bring this video to a close. It is now 11:56, so we're just a little bit past the 5-hour mark. So I am a little shiny in my T-zone, but basically just like right through here. I kept it very minimal today, and I also didn't even apply a setting spray. So there were a few things that were kind of working against me today, but we're seeing how the primers work in real life without any kind of assistance. So they don't look bad though. Like, I definitely do feel like the e.l.f. side does minimize more. Like, I'm really seeing that now. And I was looking up close earlier, and this makes no sense whatsoever, but it's just what I'm seeing, so I'm just going to tell you what I'm seeing. But my pores look stretched out on the Tatcha side. I know, it's weird. It's like they just like... And also, it kind of emphasized and settled into the line right through here, whereas on this side, it didn't. But I do want to point out that the e.l.f. side does look a tad bit shinier right through here around my nose crevice, but that's probably because, as I was pointing out earlier, the e.l.f. one seemed a bit more hydrating, more creamy. It just glided on better, whereas the Tatcha side was more drying, and it was just emphasizing the dry patches that I couldn't really see with the naked eye. So I'm more okay with shininess and oiliness than I am with dryness and patchiness and flakiness and that little powdery look. So is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer a dupe? Is it a dud, or is it better than the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer? I'm gonna have to say that the e.l.f. one is better, even though it did look a little bit more shiny on this side. It's also more smooth, and I also feel like the cheek price held up better. I feel like this side just looks overall more flawless, whereas this side, I don't know, like I didn't even apply it all over, like back here or anything. I just applied it out to maybe about through here, and like this area right here just looks very faded. Like it looks like I've been laying on the couch, or like I've had my hand on my face and I haven't. So yeah, the e.l.f. side wears better, it fills in the pores more, and it's $8. You can't beat it. So that is it for another Dupe Dead or Better. I hope you guys enjoy this one. And if you want to see more, I have an entire dupe playlist. Like, I've done a lot of dupes and there's plenty more to come. So I will link that playlist at the end of this video when the music starts playing, so you can just click on it and see all the ways you can save money. There are tons of different ways you can save money when you subscribe to me. So if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and also comment below which products you want me to try to find a dupe for, or which products you actually want me to test side by side. So you know what to do. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Mwah.